What's up everybody, Matt Moran here for another dash cam review. So this one is the Vantrue N2 Pro Dual dash cam. And so that means this one records both the front of what's going on in front of you and also what's going on in the cabin, which is very good for those that want to record what's going on inside the car, or if you want to make vlogs or whatever, you could actually do that with these. And it's also of course very practical for taxi drivers, Uber drivers, all that kind of stuff for safety reasons as well. And it also does give you a little bit of a view of what's going on the sides and behind you, which is also handy. Because a lot of times, you don't want to actually run another dash cam to the back of the car, and so this kind of gives you a little bit of a view of what's going on around you still without having two totally separate dash cams wired up for the front and the back. Anyway, so opening up the dash cam here, you can see all the basic literature you usually get with these. Nice owner's manual there, and then you can see the unit itself. So it's a really nice and solid construction, very durable. There's a little slot there for the micro SD card, and also, your various cable hookups. And so yeah, you got a nice little screen there with some buttons to navigate and whatnot, all very nicely laid out. You can see your connector up top there. That's how it gets power and is mounted to the windshield. And you have all your accessories here in the bottom, including a suction cup mount. You also have a standard USB cable in there as well to connect it up to your computer and all that kind of stuff. And then here's the one you actually use with the dash cam itself. Plugs in up top, and you can see it also has a USB jack, so you don't lose your functionality there with your power outlet. So very handy. But anyway, here's some footage of what it's like. Now this is a bright sunny day, and the first thing you may notice is it's got a very bluish tint to it, and I was told that is because whenever you're running recording of both this front camera and the rear camera at 1080p, it does this. And so if you can record on 1440p for just the front camera, but then it can't record the rear. But if you wanted to do that, then the video quality would be very similar to the X2 that I reviewed a few months ago. But, as you can see, it still looks pretty good. I mean, the image quality is very sharp. There is also a parking mode like all the other recent Vantrue cameras, and so you can put that in parking mode, and it'll have motion sensing, so whenever people walk in front of the car, it'll automatically record. Even if you're away from the car and it's off and stuff, it'll just record off of the battery power there, or if you have it hardwired, it'll record that way. But anyway, here's the interior camera, and as you can see, again, it's kind of misrepresenting the colors. This is the black interior, and it looks bright purple. Again, they say this is set up because of the way that they have that rear camera just set up so that it has a clear image quality, I suppose. I didn't totally understand it, but that's how they kind of explained it to me. But as you can see here, more front-facing footage. Again, very bluish. Now this is as it's a little bit darker, and you can see it just kind of gets more and more blue the darker it gets. But like I said, still sharp image quality, and does look pretty good otherwise. Even with the bluish tint, you can still see the license plates very clearly here. And I have no complaints with the image quality itself. It's just the colors that are a little bit off. And you can see that, I have my buddy in the car here, and, all the other colors seem to be pretty accurate. It's just the blacks that it seems to be off on, which is kind of interesting. Now doing an overlay of the two here, now this is a brighter, sunnier day. You can see that it's very nice image quality, and, whenever the sun is brighter, it's less blue, and so, you can kind of get a better sense of, what the actual colors are like here whenever it's a sunny day. But as you can see on the interior, it's still very discolored there for the blacks, but otherwise very sharp quality. Again, now the previous N2 had a rear-facing camera, but that one, it only did 720p for the resolution there for the interior camera, where this one is full 1080p, very sharp and crisp, and I gotta say, the image quality is very good. And even when it's raining here, I wanted to show with the windshield wipers going back and forth, how it doesn't lose focus. It doesn't overexpose for that split second or anything like that. Still is really good with maintaining its image quality. And again, you just get a little more of that bluish tint the darker it gets, but still, looks very sharp nonetheless. Same goes for the interior camera here, still pretty good. And this, now that this one's a little darker, you can see the blacks are a little more accurately represented here. And like I said, excellent full 1080p video quality here for this interior camera, which is pretty good. And at night. Now, night isn't the greatest out of all the Vantrue cameras. I still think the X2 might be a little bit better in that regard. But it is sharp enough, even on really dark nights like this with, xenon headlamps. Pretty good, a little blurry, but overall not bad at all. And good enough, and especially on a dark road like this where there's no overhead lighting or anything. Whenever you do add a little bit of overhead lighting here in a different car that only had halogen lamps, you can see that it actually looks a little bit sharper and a little less blurry as well, and looks pretty good. Now this isn't totally dark, this is like very dark dusk, but still really sharp. You can see all the road lines very clearly. Everything is very easy to make out. You can read all the signs on the buildings and everything else. And so overall, a pretty good job there. And it also has an infrared camera at night. So, although it looks like I'm illuminated, I'm not actually. It's totally pitch dark in the cabin, but it has 4 infrared lights there that help that camera to see at night. And so that is really handy, especially if you're driving around people at night and you need to be able to see them, again, for safety reasons or whatever. A really cool feature that this one has that the others in the past have not had. And so a very cool new feature there for that. But yeah, you can see here at night, you can see the license plates very clearly. You can see everything around you very sharply. And overall, I gotta say, it's a really nice image quality as far as the dash cam goes. And if the color imperfections don't bother you, then I think it's definitely worth checking out. There is a discount code in the description below for those that are interested, and a link to it on Amazon. So yeah, definitely check it out if you're interested. If you don't care about the cabin camera, there is still the X2, which is excellent, and they are going to have even higher quality cameras coming down the road as well. And there's also, if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, there is the N1 as well, which is another great dash cam that's very small but still has great image quality. So definitely check out those reviews as well. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.